The following program is made possible by First State Bank, offering secure online and mobile banking. First State Bank is ready to serve your financial needs with locations in Warren, Hermitage, and Hampton. First State Bank, the difference is leadership. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Need to reappoint Dale Wheeler on the Planning Commission for another 3-year term.
I know that we approve the reappointment of Dale Wheeler, Planning Commission for 3 years.
Second. Motion and second to reappoint Dale Wheeler on the Planning Commission. Any questions? Roll call vote.
Alderman Marshall?
Yes.
Alderman Tolfree? Alderman Mosley?
Yes.
Alderman Frazier?
Yes.
Alderman Henderson?
Yes.
And Alderman Burks?
Yes.
Okay. And then we need to reappoint William Miller to the Planning Commission for another 3-year term.
I move that William Miller be reappointed to the Planning Commission for another 3-year term.
Second.
Motion and second to reappoint William Miller to a 3-year term on the Planning Commission. Roll call, any questions? Roll call vote.
Alderman Marshall?
Yes.
Alderman Tolfree? Alderman Mosley?
Yes.
Alderman Frazier?
Yes.
Alderman Henderson?
Yes.
Alderman Burks?
Yes.
And number 3, I didn't realize we got everything we needed to bring that. We didn't amend the agenda to add this at this time. If you want to, we can, or we can wait till next month to appoint. I'm sorry.
She's on here.
I'm sorry. I jumped ahead to what you and I talked about.
We discussed her.
Right, we did, okay. Appoint Kenitra Owen to the Planning Commission for a 3-year term.
I move that Kenesha Owens be appointed to the Planning Commission for a 3-year term. She will do an excellent job.
Second.
Motion and second to appoint Kenitra Owens for a 3-year term on the Planning Commission. Any questions? All those in favor?
Alderman Marshall?
Yes.
Alderman Tolfree? Alderman Mosley?
Yes.
Alderman Frazier?
Yes.
Alderman Henderson?
Yes.
Alderman Burks?
Yes.
Okay. We'll take care of the other next month, Ms. Alderman Marshall.
What are you all discussing? I don't have that in my notes from the agenda.
Well, no, we didn't. I had asked you all to give me some names of people for the Parks and Rec, and she did, and
Okay.
we were working on that today, and when I looked down there, I went, oh, okay,
Okay.
my mistake. Okay, we have a memo for the street department to sell,
Sell equipment.
sell equipment.
I'm not that we sell this equipment. Second, and
Okay,
that is a 1998 American tow pipe. That is what you're referencing.
yes, and the 1991, Ms. Clark handed me her memo. I guess I misplaced mine. The 1991 Brush Bandit chipper, 1996 Ford LB bucket truck, and a 1969 Chevy dump truck. And then there's a metal leaf box that didn't have a year. And as you can see, they're very aged, and most of them are not in good running condition or not running at all. So do I have a motion?
You
to-
have a motion and a second already.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, we'll take a roll call vote.
Alderman Marshall?
Yes.
Alderman Tolfree? Alderman Mosley?
Yes.
Alderman Frazier?
Yes.
Alderman Henderson?
Yes.
Alderman Burks?
Yes.
Okay, last month, we discussed, our last meeting, we discussed the sanitation power wash bid, and the question came up about insurance, and so they have all been contacted. If you look on that second sheet, you will see that 3 of them have the liability insurance, and the last bid said they would get it if they got the bid. So if you all are ready to move forward. And,
Does the administration have a recommendation?
Rob, Mr. Johnson, would you step forward, because I know that you have already had them cleaned one time, asking if there is a recommendation.
At the last time we talked, it was, turning whether they had insurance or not, and all that quoted have insurance.
Is-
Except for one, but what is
And
it?
they said they will provide it if they get the.
Are they all from Bradley County?
That I don't know.
Okay.
What is the administration's recommendation?
That's the question.
Well, we've looked at a lot of different avenues. I think the person with the low bid and the insurance will be good for the once a month.
Who have we utilized previously?
Steamers,
Mhm. And we went with steamers for what reason?
only one available at the time that I called.
And they did a good job.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wondered, I was looking at those phone numbers and wondered if that, the Briley, the lowest bid, if that's Monticello, that 224-532, if they're from Monticello.
Right, I don't know.
She's from Warren.
Oh, she is, okay.
The first three on this list are from Warren. don't
Then I
know
say we
about
go with the
last
lowest bid,
Yeah.
if they have
one.
insurance.
First three are from Warren.
What is Alderman Burke saying? Oh, okay.
Being examined.
Okay, is that a motion? I'll second.
Yeah, that's I make a motion that we go with Eddie Briley
I move.
and Leslie White.
I'll second the
Second.
motion.
Motion and second to accept the low bid of Eddie Briley and Leslie White. Any discussion? All those in favor, voice vote.
Alderman Marshall,
Yes.
Alderman Tolfree, Alderman Mosley. Yes. Alderman Frazier,
Yes.
Alderman Henderson,
Yes.
Alderman Burks.
Yes.
Okay. We are back to ward redistricting. It had been, placed, tabled at our last meeting. We discussed it again at the agenda meeting. Are y'all ready to vote?
I still have questions, so if you wanna go ahead and get the motion on whatever that
Okay,
the council wants to, I can, share my unreadness at that particular time.
okay. Would someone like to make a motion on which option? We had, three options that were presented to us at the last meeting by the company that, put these maps together.
Which one had the least?
Option
Op-
3.
Yeah, I make the motion that we choose option 3. It had the least amount of changes in the redistricting.
Okay, there's a motion to it. Was there a second? Second. Motion and second to accept option 3 on the redistricting. Is there any questions?
I'm ready.
Okay,
Okay, on option 3, and I think I asked this question, at the, city council meeting, and that is, I know that we received the email back that stated that we could not be told the streets that would actually come out of Ward 3 and go into, and I'm gonna bring up the email, to go into, I believe it was Ward 1. But, then in blue, it gave, and I shared this at the, agenda meeting. In blue, are we saying that Croquette, West Church, North Wright, Phillips, West Central, and a part of North Etheridge are those streets?
that was my understanding.
Okay, so those streets would actually come out of Ward 3 and go into Ward 1.
That's what I understand too.
Okay, so are we sure that this is the case? Because this would be, I would like for the record to show that those are the actual streets, that the council is voting on. I would not like to vote on this and then these are actually not the streets. So I guess I would like to go on record that the streets that would come out of Ward 3 are Croquette, West Church, North Wright, Phillips, West Central, and North Etheridge. And then it looks like there's a small portion of Watson, because part of that blue is on the end of the word Watson.
Talking about that little blue edge,
Mhm.
yeah.
How was it determined we're only that little section of North Watson? That's what's kind of confusing to me, when you look at that little edge right there that you're talking about. So that's kind of where, like, the Rochelle property?
That's what it appears to be, but without actually knowing, I don't know, I'm just looking at what is actually in blue, that he is saying that those are the identified, streets, and that is the way the mayor says that she is interpreting as well. And then, my other question would be, looking at that particular, option, do we have the actual makeup? I know he's doing it by population, which is correct, but what's listed here, is that the actual makeup of white, black, Hispanic, etc.?
That's the way I took it, yes ma'am, that's the way,
That's the way I'm interpreting it, but is that actually the way that it is?
that's the way it's supposed to be. I mean,
So we don't really
I
know.
would think so. I would
I'm
think
sorry?
I don't know why it wouldn't be.
I don't either.
Then I would like for the record to show that the maps that has the actual population, the racial makeup, etc., is as printed on option 3 of the map. So as long as I go on record stating this. That ends my unreadiness.
Are y'all ready to vote? Okay, voice vote?
Alderman Marshall,
No.
Alderman Tolfree, Alderman Mosley,
Yes.
Alderman Frazier,
Yes,
Alderman Henderson.
I guess my question is, are you sure that this information is correct?
This is what he sent us, and you know, I asked the question you had of the specific streets, and that will be determined more down whenever it is turned over to the clerk, the county clerk.
No.
Alderman Burks,
No.
Okay, so we will have to go back to the drawing board on that. Have it for next council meeting. And any questions that you all have, if you would send them to me in an email, I will do my best to get them answered, and we can have Mr. Doss back for a meeting, okay? All right, moving to ordinance, number 940. This is concerning the sewer rates that we just had the public meeting for.
I move that we place ordinance number 940 on its first reading.
second,
Motion and second to place ordinance number 940 on its first reading. Any discussion? All those in favor by a voice vote?
Alderman Marshall,
Yes.
Alderman Tolfree, Alderman Mosley,
Yes.
Alderman Frazier,
yes,
Alderman Henderson,
Yes.
Alderman Burks.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance number 940. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 901 to amend existing sewer rates to raise the minimum rates charged for services of the sewer system of the city of Warren, Arkansas, and for other purposes. Whereas the city of Warren, Arkansas has established a Department of Water and Sewer to service the inhabitants of the city of Warren, and to finance the operation and management of said department with fees collected for services rendered, and it is necessary for the city council to adjust the rates to be charged for such services. Now therefore be it ordained by the city council of the city of Warren, Arkansas, that ordinance number 901 be amended as follows. Section 1, that the minimum residential sewer rates are raised from $7 to $7.75 per 1,000 gallons for the first 1,000 gallons, and the rate of $2.10 per 1,000 gallons to raise to $2.75 per 1,000 gallons for each 1,000 gallons over the first 1,000 gallons. Section 2, that the minimum commercial sewer rates are raised from 10 to 10.75 per 1,000 gallons for the first 1,000 gallons, and the rate of $3.15 per 1,000 gallons is raised to $4.10 per 1,000 gallons for each 1,000 gallons over the first 1,000 gallons. Section 3, an immediate necessity existing for the preservation of the public peace, health, and safety to ensure the proper operation and maintenance of the system. An emergency is hereby declared to exist, and by reason thereof, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and publication.
I move that we suspend the rules and place ordinance number 940 on its second reading.
Let me read on that second page. There was a section 4, all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict wherewith are hereby repealed. There is a motion and a second on the floor to place ordinance number 940 on its second reading.
I would second it.
Oh, did you? Okay. I know, I'm always ready to move forward on these. Excuse me.
You seconded it? Okay.
Motion and second, is there any question? Okay. All those in favor by voice vote?
Alderman Marshall,
Yes.
Alderman Topri, Alderman Mosley,
Yes.
Alderman Frazier,
Yes.
Alderman Henderson,
Yes.
Alderman Burks.
Ordinance number 940, an ordinance to amend ordinance number 901 to amend existing sewer rates to raise the minimum rates charged for services of the sewer system of the city of Warren, Arkansas, and for other purposes.
I move that we suspend the rules and place ordinance number 940 on its third and final reading.
Second.
Motion and second to place ordinance number 940 on its second reading,
No, third and final.
the third and final. Yeah, don't make me go through it again, please. Any questions? All those in favor by voice vote?
Alderman Marshall,
Yes.
Alderman Topri, Alderman Mosley,
Yes.
Alderman Frazier,
Yes.
Alderman Henderson,
Yes.
Alderman Burks.
Yes.
Ordinance, number 940, an ordinance to amend ordinance number 901 to amend existing sewer rates to raise the minimum rates charged for services of the city system of the city of Warren, Arkansas, and for other purposes.
I move that we adopt the emergency clause.
Second.
Okay, let's adopt the ordinance first.
Oh, I'm sorry, I move that we adopt the ordinance. I'm sorry.
A second?
Too fast.
Yeah, got it. Second.
Okay, a motion to adopt the ordinance and a second. Any questions? All those in favor by voice vote?
Alderman Marshall,
Yes.
Alderman Topri, Alderman Mosley,
Yes.
Alderman Frazier,
Yes.
Alderman Henderson,
Yes.
Alderman Burks.
Yes.
Now I move that we adopt the emergency clause.
Second.
Motion and second to adopt the emergency clause. Any questions? All those in favor by voice vote?
Alderman Marshall,
Yes.
Alderman Topri, Alderman Mosley,
Yes.
Alderman Frazier,
Yes, ma'am.
Alderman Henderson,
Yes.
Alderman Burks.
Okay. Did we have anybody to sign in to speak?
No.
Okay, then we will move.
Good evening.
Once again, please, you guys have my monthly report with the monthly statistics on it. Not much has changed since it's printed out, although I will say that we are no longer at full staff in the dispatch area. Patrol, we still are, but dispatch area, we are at that point, particular time seeking a part-time dispatcher. But we're still at full staff in patrol, and still waiting on the new vehicle to come in. We ordered the parts and equipment for it, so whenever we come in, we should be able to get it outfitted and on patrol at a pretty reasonable time. The rest is in front of you. Any questions?
$5,867.72.
Yes, ma'am. I'm afraid these days that's the cost of doing business with vehicles. We're trying to keep them running, trying to keep the guys comfortable in them, so it's always something we can.
Okay, mentioning keeping the guys and the girls comfortable, what is your policy on carrying the vehicles home? Do you have a written policy on that?
You know, I was asked about that, and I looked for a written policy. That was actually put into effect before I took over as chief of police. I remember when it was being discussed. As far as a policy, I couldn't find a policy. I just knew what the rules and regulations were that department that we use when taking the vehicles home.
But you have nothing in print?
Nothing in print as far as policy. Now, there's something in the personnel policy for city take-home vehicles for the city. That's in the city personnel policy. But as far as the police department, I could not find anything where they actually enacted a policy for the police department.
Who asked you that? A citizen or someone else?
That's what I was looking for.
Oh,
I was looking
okay.
for it. If we have a police department, yes, ma'am. I was looking to look through our archive, through the policy books that we had down there. We have
Okay.
several. Yes, so.
Just curious.
All right.
I just wanna make a comment. It's not really about the police department, but I got a phone call last week from Landers. And you know, we had placed an order for a truck for Parks and Rec. And he called and he said, I hate to tell you this, but he said they have canceled all orders. They had 300 trucks on order and they got a cancellation. So it was a good thing we did the emergency move and found a truck, or we would be sitting here with nothing. And so I immediately asked the chief to check and see where that car was, but nothing.
No matter, as a matter of fact, we had, we called today to try to talk to the individual that we purchased the car from, and he was not in the office. But the time that the mayor asked us last week when we had called, they said it was still on order. Just any day that I come in, so just whatever the city gets in for, so. We don't know.
Their mercy.
Exactly.
All right, thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, Mayor.
Good evening. We responded to 20 calls during the month of February. 6 were honed out to the Department of the Extrication team. We had our monthly meeting on the 7th. 24 members were present. We did a extrication training with new battery operated tools. Volunteer payroll for the month of $16,2750. I have an update on the truck. They've given us a delivery date of April the 29th.
That's good.
Well, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying your new job?
Yes, ma'am.
We knew he was gonna say that.
That's really fast. I wouldn't think about it.
Not too many growing pains.
Okay, no more questions. Thank you, chief. Appreciate it. We'll do sanitation first, Mr. Johnson.
Okay, we are currently still hauling trash to El Dorado because our compactor, as y'all are aware of, broke down. Got a crew in from Little Rock to look at one of the only 2 companies in the state that works on them. One's a little farther north. They're supposed to come in this week and tear the one that we have down, take the Little Rock rebuild and bring it back. Prior to getting it rebuilt, he will give me a price and I will further that information along, but waiting on that. We did hire a recycling coordinator by the name of Mr. Mike Miller. Comes with 28 years truck driving experience. A lot of you probably know him. He used to work for Cassius for years. He started today, and that's the positive side of the recycling program. It should start picking back up, cause we have an extra person there. And with the rate of price of cardboard right now, we need to be getting it out here, $200 a ton. It's going pretty good, better than pine wood right now. But that's where we are. I've talked to Mr. Zach this week, or we text several times. We're gonna see if I can get a sanitation committee meeting together with some ideas on all the different avenues that Warren Sanitation has as far as new trucks, new equipment, and the route to go on that, and the funding available with purchase or lease or whatever they decide to do to bring to y'all, the council. We're waiting on that right now, so. After talking to Mr. Burks, he's gonna go forward with that. We're gonna have to do something, because we're heading downhill on equipment wise. But I had on the truck I was telling you about, it's gonna cost around $20,000 first estimate. Seems to be a little better than that when I got a fourth opinion. Not first or second, but the fourth one came out pretty good. However, I did have to tow it to him. But that's okay too. It's in El Dorado with a timeline of about 5 weeks. So, and that's just because of they're that far behind. So, not any particular parts or anything like that's a problem. It's just that they're that far behind. So, Long Star Trucking in El Dorado is the one that has our garbage truck, our old garbage truck. That is the container truck that empties the red cans around town. So hopefully I'll know something from them. Other stuff we discussed, I just asked about a compactor, and the earliest compactor, if we ordered one today, is 16 weeks. So let's hope we get this one patched and up running, so that we get our other one and stop this $5 a gallon diesel going down the rain and back. So, but we're making it good though. We really are. The guys are going above and beyond, and everything's going okay as it can go. People aren't complaining too much, so that's what I go by.
What about, the new ordinance that we updated?
Yes, ma'am. We're in the process of getting, I've talked to the police chief, as far as citations are concerned. We're gonna have to get with the judge. I'm in the process of getting signs made. I didn't realize signs were as expensive as they are. I think we've discussed maybe now bumper stickers type stick on, explaining the dumpster, what it's used for and what's kind of banned, like the items that are banned with the little, the little emblem that. Yeah. So
And we have also advertised in the newspaper, educating our citizens.
Not yet, but we plan to. I thought it'd be a good.
That's most important.
Right, but I thought it would be a good plan to do it all at once.
Sure, I agree.
As you see, we're putting it on the, to let it go along with it. I just didn't know.
I agree.
But we're pulling a lot of dumpsters, and we've got a mess behind the Eagle today that happened over the weekend. And then we've got a mess on a couple of other ones that I think people were cleaning houses out. That's gonna have to be stopped because.
Even at the post office.
Oh, yeah, it's real.
Always.
Yeah, I watched a guy put 5 vacuum cleaners in the post office dumpster the other day, 5 of them. And I didn't recognize the guy, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and a lot of our garbage we get comes from out of town, we all know that, we'll get that later. But no, that's all I got. Everything should be getting better in weeks and months to come. So.
Alderman Burks, do you have anything to add?
Next month, and get some things laid out on these structures and everything, find out which way we wanna go.
Okay. All right, let's move to building official.
On the monthly report, we've done quite a few gas inspections. A lot have been done that hadn't been reported because they're not right. So they don't get reported on the report until they come in compliance. The condemnation list, I did catch up with Mike May on that. He showed me the ones that were currently on the list, and also that the prices nobody's bid on any of them yet. So I've got that back out, and I've called the people that he had on his list and some other people to see if they would be interested in them. Hopefully this time next month, we can have some prices on what we already have. I have not went forward on any more. I have sent letters to 6 different properties. After last Friday, 1 out of the 6 has been taken care of on its own. 1 is in progress, and the other 4 not doing anything. So we may have 4 to add to the list new in April. But other than that, everything else is going pretty good, I guess.
Any questions? I will compliment the sanitation department. They are going up over and above to take care of the needs of the city, and I am very appreciative of these gentlemen. And if you see them out and about, please tell them thank you, because they really have.
Yeah.
Whatever has been asked of them, they have done.
Last week twice, and it was past 7 o'clock at night. And one night it was raining and storming, and we had flashers on the trucks, just so the guys, they got through about 7:30 that night. So
I don't think I've ever heard of a complaint about the sanitation.
no, Warren's been very blessed with the sanitation department compared to other cities. We really have.
Okay, thank you, sir. Evening.
I know it sounds like a broken record, but it's the same thing. We just been cleaning gutters and filling up potholes. We have actually got a street sweeper. We've been cleaning some of these streets. For lack of better terms, we're just reclaiming the streets, getting the.
We see you all over town, working.
Thank you.
Saw you today at lunchtime on Pine Street.
Yes, ma'am.
He wasn't eating much.
No, they were not eating lunch. They are blocking the street.
I saw him working though, but
They were working.
I saw him one day.
You know, I go, I'm not gonna make that late.
I saw him one day after he had cleaned the street, and when he got through, there was about this much more street than what it had been covered up. People didn't know it was ditch or street, but there was that much pavement that he uncovered, so.
Yeah, it's just reclaimed. Actually, some of the streets are very narrow, but we're sweeping it back, and you can actually see it's more blacktop there than folks realize, because over time they just keep closing in.
Some of our streets, only one car can go down those
Yes.
streets.
It's poor shape in some of the areas.
Yes.
We're trying to get some drainage going on, so I've been cleaning out around some of the culverts, digging down. Actually started replacing some that collapsed. The water's just backing up into folks' yard, and it's just making mud holes out of it. That's very costly whenever we go to replacing culverts. They are extremely high right now. On another note, the generator that's at the armory, we have it up and running. It's passed all the safety checks. It's wired in. It's good to go as of now. I'm gonna have to replace the fuel tank, but it's good to go. We had the state inspector come down last Friday, and he gave it his seal of approval. And so we're just gonna keep on hammering along here. Don't know how long our hammer handle's gonna be, but it's pretty short. But we're getting it. With y'all's help, we're gonna do more.
Alderman Mosley, do you have?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we buy, or let me rephrase that, let bids out to buy mini excavator, which is a piece of equipment that we could do a lot of this work ourselves,
I'll
especially
second her motion.
for houses and things like that, so.
Okay, a motion and second to let out bids for a mini excavator for the street department. Any discussion? All those in favor, voice vote?
Alderman Marshall,
Yes.
Alderman Godfrey,
Alderman Mosley,
Yes.
Alderman Frazier,
Yes.
Alderman Henderson,
Yes.
Alderman Burks.
Yes,
Okay. All right, we'll be in business soon.
And that'll help fix the issue that was on Melody's area, big one.
Yes, ma'am, we can use it all over town, but it's, to clean the ditches and, make proper drainage.
Yeah, because people are putting things in the drainage to keep water from backing into their homes. This is something that is definitely needed.
Yes.
Okay.
And then it floods back down to other people's homes.
That's right, you know, and actually, if we can get this size of excavator, that I will actually be able to go into some of the main ditches around town that's inaccessible by a backhoe, and that's what I've got right now, that beavers have stopped up or trees that fell in or something, that I will actually be able to go in there and remove
Oh,
those.
this is human stuff.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that everything's gonna drain down to the main creek to get out of here, and if that creek stopped up, it's got nowhere to go, plus the human side of it, or the residential side of it.
Okay, no more questions, thank you, sir, appreciate it.
We actually have a meeting scheduled for March the 16th at 4:30 here in the municipal courtroom.
Yes.
I'm assuming that Charlotte got in contact with you too?
Parks and Rec, Mr. Wagner is not here tonight because he's at the Y, they're getting ready for, starting T-bubbles and all of those activities tonight, so you have his report.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Shooting range, what does it mean? The shooting range was closed temporarily? Rationale?
The manager of the shooting range has had some, significant health issues.
So it's due to
It,
staff
it was
issues?
due to kind of an emergency.
Okay. Just curious. I hadn't had anyone to ask that it, say that it was closed, I just read the, report.
Yeah. Okay, you have the planning commission, report, aviation commission, no meeting, water and sewer, you've got their minutes and balance sheets. Housing authority, no, they have anything to add?
We don't have a meeting, we didn't have a meeting since it's been, 2 weeks since we had our last, council meeting, but we do need to have a meeting to decide what we're gonna do as a council, as a city. The school has decided they're not gonna continue using the cultural center. So, our last bid 2 years ago was 1.6 million without the roof. So we need to decide what we're gonna do.
So the school has, submitted to us that they,
Well, we actually went back and looked, and February of, what year was it?
2020.
2020, they voted not to,
No, they voted in January, and then this council voted in February.
but we voted not to move forward at that time. So they voted not to move forward with any more financial, right. So, it's coming to a point where we either we have to decide what we're gonna do.
I guess my question is, it has been confirmed that the school does not plan to put any dollars into the
Yes.
culture center.
Yes,
So now it's back on the city of
Yeah.
Warren. Okay,
Yes.
I'm following this.
yes, so, and like I said, that was 1.6 2 years ago. So when we met as a cultural center commission, and, Mr. Gorman was on there, and he's a contractor, he said, it was probably over 2 million now. At least over 2 million. So, we got foundations, the main problem. So, if we decide to move forward, we've gotta set a plan, foundation, and then what, cause there's no way we can I don't think there's a way we can come up with $2 million at once. But we've gotta there's no sense in fixing the curtains before we fix the hole in the roof, you know what I mean? So there needs to be a plan put in place if the council decides to move forward in fixing it. So we need to,
Are there any grant opportunities out there?
I haven't even looked.
I have looked, and so has Mr. Cornish. I've not, I mean, of course, I don't have the time to devote to just doing that, so, you know, if anybody else wants to help.
And that's what I was thinking by putting this out there, if there's somebody that knows of a grant or, you know, has an idea of where, you know, then help us out. But I mean, I've looked as well, but I haven't found one either. So, yeah, we just need to decide what, not tonight by any means, but just need to think about what is our future plans? What are our future plans?
Is it currently being utilized?
The school's using it. It's usable. The main thing that's gonna happen is the air conditioner doesn't work. So when it gets warmer and you're gonna need air conditioning in there, of course, the school will be out, so, you know, their need for it will not be there.
So we can't use it for pink tomato because there's no air.
You know, I remember that meeting, I believe, when, the strategic planners were down and I was there. I think I remember seeing fans going in there.
Yes, ma'am. I went around and bought every available fan I could find in town to get us through that night because I was not aware that the air conditioner was in that bad a shape.
But the foundation, you said, is,
It has to be. It has to be done. And then the guy that the company said he would not guarantee his work. Because the ground is the problem. It's not necessarily the company that built it. I mean, it's the ground that's moving. So
shifting.
right. So he said even if he fixed the foundation, he wouldn't guarantee it because it's going to happen again. So you know, there's a lot of problems. So we just need to sit down and decide what we're gonna do.
Okay, thank you, Alderman Frazier. Do we have any unfinished business? And still no public statements, no new business. Welcome, Ms. Terry White, the new chamber part-time director as well as president, with us tonight. Need a motion to pay the bills for February.
I make a motion, we pay the bills for February.
Motion and second to pay February bills. Any questions? All those in favor by voice vote?
Alderman Marshall?
Yes.
Alderman Tolfree? Alderman Mosley?
Yes.
Alderman Frazier?
Yes.
Alderman Henderson?
Yes.
Alderman Burke?
Okay, we set our meeting for April. The agenda meeting will be 7 a.m. on the 7th, and the council meeting will be the 11th at 5:30. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
We adjourn.